contributions?
Well, the main session of security, privacy, and openness, that's one of the main sessions.
When is that one?
This is on Thursday from 9 to 10:30.
Okay.
Another one that is very important is the workshop on global trends to watch. We are organizing it, also on global surveillance issues around the world.
Right, okay. When is that one?
This is, I don't remember.
Okay, we'll check the time.
Yeah, this is workshops 160.
Okay.
Then is another workshops, for instance, on copyright enforcement.
Okay, yeah.
They are
Very important for journalists and photographers. Yeah.
For photographers, also the impact on freedom of expression.
Yes.
You know, many times there are many proposals to disconnect people from the global internet or from the internet after free copyrights infringements.
Yes.
So this is a few proposals that have been discussed around the world, and this is one of the issues that will be discussed. The United Nations Special Rapporteur on Freedom of Expression recently said that disconnecting someone from the internet is a violation of international law, even if it's whether it's for copyright infringement or whether it's from for protest.
So we have a right to be connected.
Yeah, a right to access to the internet. He said that in his first speech.
What do you think of the atmosphere at these IGFs? Do you feel that there is a pro-freedom, a sympathy for freedom of speech, for openness, or do you feel that there is a tension, people who want to regulate?
There are different levels. On the IGF, so at the IGF is a very open forum compared to others. For instance, the G8 or the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development, or the ITU, where civil society is not able to actually enter into the room and provide comments. Here, it's a multi-stakeholder environment, and civil society actually organize the session together with other stakeholders. However, the problem right now, just at the big level, is far beyond the IGF itself. Whether the IGF will continue or not.
Oh, right.
It will be continuous, it will be strength. What's going on? There are proposals, for instance, from some developing countries to create a global internet policy forum, like within United Nations. And some of them proposal for us is controversial, especially if it's in the ITU.
Yes.
Because the ITU is a policy forum which civil society have no participation.
Okay, that's the International Telecommunications Union.
Exactly.
And that tends to be dominated by government and business and industry, doesn't it?
Intergovernmental group, not multi-stakeholder. And for EFF, it's also that we believe that competition among intergovernmental organizations is important.
Yes.
We have the OECD, the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development. We have the Council of Europe at the European level, 47 members. But actually, developing countries say we don't have a venue for it, which they are right, you know. But then move everything to the United Nations is a separate issue, and that's something that we might propose. So yeah, we have to see how things go.
What are the key workshops where that will be debated?
This is more on the critical internet resources, but it's in general, I guess, on the closing ceremony.
Yes.
We have to check the closing ceremony. And this is just happening outside the IGF. The IGF itself is very open. Many people want to keep it more. We want to prove it. It's not that it's perfect. You know, we want to have more concrete outcomes.
Yes.
We want to see how the main session of security, privacy, and openness goes.
Yes.
Because there are a lot of controversial issues, especially in freedom of expression, on surveillance, that many governments might not like.
Yes.
We will see if we are able to discuss openly. As so far, the organizations have been open, but we have to see in situ. And so, on that front, I think we have to see how it goes. I hope to...
Who are your main allies, do you see it? I mean, you're clearly leaders in this area of arguing for openness and transparency. So who are your main allies then? Who would be backing you in the debate?
United Nations, the Special Rapporteur on Freedom of Expression, has issued an excellent report on freedom of expression around the world, with very strong statements on privacy, freedom of expression, surveillance, overbroad measures, that spy on citizens' life online.
And your opponents would be some of the national governments?
Some Sweden government, for instance, Switzerland also.
Really?
Council of Europe, Sweden government, I compare the US government too. on freedom of expression. It depends on the issue, you know.
Yes.
Because if you talk about copyright, so EFF is a holistic organization.
Yes.
We just don't work in freedom of expression.
Yes.
On freedom of expression, privacy, due process,
Yes.
and we work also on copyright copyright issues. So if it's copyright enforcement, that's not an ally. US will not be an ally.
Yes.
You know, they are using many censorship proposals to combat copyright enforcement. So, but if you're talking about freedom of expression in some other countries, there might be an ally, you know? So it depends on the issue. But we work with all the governments. We have to work with European governments, sometimes in freedom of expression. We have to work with some governments in Europe also in copyright provisions. Some others in Europe are not.
So your allies will change depending on the issue.
Issues.
Yeah. But the UN rapporteur, you think?
I think it's very. He has an excellent
sympathetic
approach.
to you.
All the issues, yeah. He issued recently for the Human Rights Council in Geneva a very excellent report on that front. And also the Council of Europe have internet governance principles. There will be a workshop on that too, what they are going to do with these principles. And they are very human rights friendly. The OECD has also issued their own internet governance principles,
yes.
which have been a little more controversial. Although, as a policy venue, we participate in the OECD. We think that we could shape some of the policies, not so much as we want,
right.
but we have improved tests.
Okay.
Actual tests having improved with our suggestions.
So the IGF is a very open forum, more open than most, so we have to make the best of it this year.
We have to make the best of it. We have to improve it. You know, we have to have more concrete outcomes. After the meetings, what's the meetings? What's the summary of each positions? Have a document that actually summarizes what they are doing. We have to improve it. You know, it's not that it's perfect. There are many things to do to try to move the discussion more forward, more substantive, and more concrete outcomes.
Great.